November 24th, 1971. A day that began with a cold, insistent drizzle and ended in an absolute swirling void in the heart of the Pacific Northwest on an ordinary afternoon. History was about to be intercepted. This isn't a story of a hero. This is a story of a phantom, a shadow, the man who would become known forever as D.B. Cooper. His ticket said Dan Cooper, seat 18C. He paid in cash, a quiet, unremarkable passenger. He ordered a bourbon and water. He chain-smoked filter tips. He sat and waited. A con center in a plane, full of holiday travelers. What he did next was so smooth, so chillingly polite. It seemed rehearsed. It wasn't until the plane was in the air, 1,000 feet above the rainy landscape, that he activated his plan. He handed a small, innocuous note to the flight attendant. Read it. He said, "I have a bomb." The world as they knew it stopped. From that moment on, the 727 was his stage. He told them to fly in circles over Seattle while his demands were met. He wanted a king's ransom, $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills. He wanted parachutes, and he wanted them fast. The FBI on the ground scrambled. This was unprecedented. How do you find a man with no identity, no record? A man who has vanished inside an airplane in the middle of a national crisis. But Cooper's coolness was absolute. He sat in the middle of the storm and waited, his fingers lightly tapping on the small, black attaché case. And then, the strange part. He released the passengers. He let them walk off into the waiting arms of the law. But the crew, they stayed. And a new, more terrifying phase of his plan began. He demanded a new flight plan. Mexico City, minimum speed, maximum altitude, just 10,000 feet. He wanted the rear air stairs of the 727 lowered, in the air, in a rainstorm, with a bomb. It was a suicide mission. The flight crew were locked in the cockpit. Cooper was alone in the main cabin, a ghost floating in the belly of the beast. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, over a rugged expanse of forest, a light on the control panel flashed. The wind roared, and then silence. Cooper was gone. He had vanished into the wet, cold, swirling heart of the Pacific Northwest night. $200,000 in cash. A ghost in a suit. The greatest vanishing act in American history had just begun. The search was a spectacle. Thousands of agents, soldiers, and volunteers. Every tree was a suspect. But the forest kept its secrets. No parachute. No trace of Cooper. No trace of the money. 8 years later, a young boy playing on the banks of the Columbia River found 3 bundles of soggy, half-rotted cash. It was the only tangible clue, and it only raised more questions. Did he bury it? Did he lose it? Over the next 50 years? The FBI pursued over 1,000 suspects. They analyzed everything from hair to DNA. But the Cooper identity was a black hole. It swallowed every clue, every lead, every hope of a resolution. D.B. Cooper became something more than a criminal. He became an icon of audacious, untamable freedom. The one that got away. The final theory is the simplest and the most chilling. He did not survive. That his legend is built on a grave And that D.B. Cooper is just a name whispered by the trees and carried by the river. The real D.B. Cooper is out there, somewhere, or nowhere. But as long as the Pacific Northwest rain falls, the mystery lives on. D.B. Cooper, the man who walked on air and walked away from history.